What's going on, everybody? We got to pull up our X account, make sure that everybody can see us on the timeline. And we got to make some videos today. We got to do some things. We're building the ZenDen. The motivation behind building a ZenDen. Look, I'm going to be real with you. I had this motivation well before I ever even came on the internet. I guess I can wait for a few more viewers to pop in before I really explain it. Or if you are interested in the origin story of how did this duck get on X? How the duck did I get here? Shout out to Danny B Live, because Danny, he did an in-depth hour-long interview with me, and he got me very vulnerable explaining my origin story. But I was advised I needed to make a video for it and post it to the algorithm for, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. And on X, things like that don't really go too well on X because we're very crypto centric, build and stake and reward. And look, I'm gonna be real, that really isn't me. I would love to learn. That's why I've, taken a step back from, building shit. And what is that? Oh, that's a shadow. I thought that was a tree behind me that fell. I was like, wait a minute, what? It wouldn't put it past a tree to fall in the forest. If a tree fell in the forest, would you even know? But we are going to share this video. My quality is not the best, okay? I'm just going to keep it a buck. Building the ZenDen live. Live action. AMA for a duck on X. CX. I typed CX on accident. AMA for a duck on X. We're gonna keep today PG. Sometimes I get up on this mic and I just say things, but we're gonna keep it very PG. Shout outs to my 2 live viewers. If you guys want to say anything or have your comments read out loud, just drop a comment, drop a reply or whatever. We can put it up on stream, and we can talk about it. But until then, I'm going to do a little bit of digging. I am going to record a video live for you guys to see how does a duck make content. It's real easy. When you use your iPhone, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you guys the cheat sheet to making content. I'm going to start charging for that. For the right people, they don't have to be charged. But for everybody else, there's going to be a charge behind, this, because I'm tired of people using my IP. But we're going to hit live record. We're going to start swinging a pickaxe, and we're going to narrate through the pickaxe. I made a cheat sheet for myself to help me stay on task, stay on focus. This is how I make content specific. I write it down the night before. I think about it. I sleep on it. And then the next day, I go make my content. That's one of the biggest things that I could teach you if you're a business person. You start your day the night before. Don't let that go over your head. I am wearing all blue today because I figured why not? We're out here being natural. I even changed my shoes. I put on my shit kicker 9000s. Shout outs to Adidas. I don't wear Nike, but I do keep my shoes in check. But that's a lie. I do wear Nike. Oh, just not often. All right, let's get our stuff out. I don't wear Nike, but I keep my ducks in check. Oh. We're gonna start with the pickaxe. I'm not gonna wear this. It's gonna be hot. As soon as I start swinging this pickaxe, I'm gonna sweat. I guarantee it. Oh no, my piece of paper. Where did it go? It's in my back pocket. All right, cool. Am I recording? Oh, let's delete this recording. Delete. That was a whole lot of nonsense. All right, let's get in this muddy hole. So they wanted to know 3 things, so we're going to shoot 3 videos today. We're going to keep it simple. One was the origin story. Why ducks? Why is ZenDen? What's the importance of it? Oh, shout outs to my fanny pack. It's a 101. They are not for sale anymore. If somebody is looking to get Just Duck It fanny pack, I'm sure not a lot of people are interested in buying my stuff right now. But just give it time. Give it time. We'll be the #1 ducks on everything. You know, I saw those bikers when I was on my way back home, and they were pulled over on the side. They had their GoPros and stuff. They're getting their footage ready. This is a pretty scenic route down my road. If you know, you know. But they want to talk about origin story, why ducks, the sanctuary vision, what we're building, and then a current build episode. So we're going to wrap all three of those up in one video today. Wait, stop scrolling. If you're interested in people that still work by hand, this video might be for you. Now, I get a lot of questions. Why ducks? Well, as most of you know, quick little backdrop on me. I started not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life like most people. You know, I thought working a shitty minimum wage job and saving up for college was the right thing to do. And I heard about this guy called Grant Cardone when I was young. And I fell in love with, you know, his motivation, his talent, and really the message behind his content a decade ago. That at 25, he could really change his life around, and look what he became. And, you know, that story always kind of stuck to me. I grew up in a very poor community. Everybody was either on drugs or selling drugs. And, you know, I just didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. So I took a chance. I applied for this internship for a large marketing group. It's international. And the branch that I took an internship was based out of Chicago. And I pursued that full time. And traveled the country, got into sales, you know, taught a lot of businesses how to sell, taught a lot of people that were in the same predicament as me how to trust their gut, how to go for it. And I even met a pretty cute girl along the way, and, you know, fell in love. And she was a dual major. She was in marketing and communication, dual major. And you know, one day she came to me and she said, "Hey, look, I really love this job, but my parents, they think I should quit and focus on doing school because I'm about to graduate with a dual major." And she asked, you know, "What do you think I should do?" And I said, "Well, do you enjoy what you do?" She said, "Yeah, I do enjoy this job. I enjoy working." And I said, "Well, you should go into business for yourself." And she was like, "My parents, they said, you know, I only got a little bit left to school to finish before I get my degree." And I said, "Well, think about it this way. This opportunity isn't going to be here forever, but school is always going to be there. You just got to do what you want to do." And with one semester left of college, she decided to drop out and pursue going into business for herself. And, you know, I'm super proud of her for that. Because it takes some balls to go against what your parents think. But, you know, this is my origin story, not hers. Long story short, a couple years go by. I get relocated to the other side of the country to launch a new client contract. And I'm sure you can figure out the rest. Long distance relationships don't necessarily work out these days. Everybody's chasing the hype and chasing the feeling of being successful, but, you know, they negate what actually being successful means. Anyways, I made a pretty foolish mistake as a young entrepreneur, and I decided to walk away from that industry to move back home and, you know, pursue our relationship. And I'm sure you've heard this time and time again. If you chase two rabbits, you'll lose both. And that's essentially what I did. You know, not only at that time when I closed my business down to travel across the country and be present in the relationship, did I not only lose my contracts, my clients, I also lost the relationship. And, I was at a pretty tough point in my life. I was like, well, what now? I could quit, I could give up, I could be a failure like everybody else that decided to give up on their dreams. And something like that story just didn't sit right with me. So I decided to test my luck with the internet. And lo and behold, one day I stumbled across a little duck. She was half in her shell, and ducks, they're precocial, so when they hatch, they're fluffy, their eyes are opened, and they know how to be ducks from day one. Well, this little duck, she was half in her shell, half out of her shell, and her eyes weren't even opened yet. So there was a very small chance of her actually making it and surviving. And I decided to pick that duck up, and I brought her home with me. I made sure that I'd give her at least a fighting chance to survive. And she was my emotional support duck. It was kind of a funny joke at the start of it, but mentally where I was at with my life decisions and where I'd found myself tucking my tail between my legs at the age of 25 and moving back in with the parents. It was a very humbling experience for me, and the only thing that was kind of holding me together was taking care of this little duck and making sure that she could survive. And through all the hard times and tribulations the past 3 years, the ultimate goal was we took care of this little duck, and it put a smile on my face at a time to where it was very hard to smile. It's very hard to smile losing everything that I had worked so hard for. She was my only source of happiness for a while, but anyways, how did I get here to building a ZenDen by hand? Well, that little duck we ended up naming Jasmine. I took her around with me everywhere. I took her to the jamborees, I took her to the fairs, took her to the dentist, I took her grocery shopping in Costco, I'd taken her to McDonald's plenty of times. I'd taken her everywhere with me, and she was my source of smile. She was my reason to find happiness again. And along the journey, I'd found that she was a lot of people's reason to smile, not just mine. Everybody that had come up to me in public when I would take this little duck around with me met me with such a genuine smile on their face. They all thought I was a little wacky because I had a duck, and so many people compared me to all the other duck influencers out there. But I didn't really care about the other duck influencers. I was doing this for a reason deeper than just being an influencer. I never cared to be an influencer. But at the time, I understood that the internet was one of the best platforms to build upon. So I had shared, my experiences with this little duck on the internet, and not only was I making people IRL smile, but I was making thousands of people around the world smile just from these little duck videos, as silly as they may have been. And bringing the smiles to their faces really inspired me. It clawed me out of a very dark place in my life, and inspired me to one day build a duck sanctuary where, we prioritize peace and happiness and, whatever else comes along the way. Because I know in the world today, there's a lot of FUD on the timeline, and FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, doubt. There's a lot of, that's a fun crypto word I learned last year. But it's real. There's a lot of crazy stuff out there. There's a lot of manipulation with people's minds. There's a lot of people out there that are just holding on to a piece of hope in a situation to where it doesn't seem to like there's really no hope. And there's a lot of people out there that are looking for a sign to keep going. Jasmine was my sign to just keep going. No matter how hard it got, no matter pursuing my dreams, pushed my family away from me. I didn't last long living back in my mom's house. I lasted maybe 2 months before before she told me I needed to get real with my life and go get a real job again. And, you know, I did, but just because I went and got a real job and I was still continuing to make YouTube videos and still continuing to make TikTok videos, I guess it just wasn't cool for them, you know, that I was so dedicated to building the brand. Because it's not just about making money, it's about making a difference. You know, that's kind of what I prided myself on in the sales industry. Not just about making money, but making a difference in people's lives, letting them know that they can do it. Because in this world, so many people are told what they can't do. Not many people are told what they can do, and you never know what you're truly capable of until you try it. You know, 3 years going by of continuing this duck experience, I had faced a lot of more trials and tribulations. You know, living in my car with a duck, trying to figure out how am I going to make it to Saturday? How am I going to survive? Not knowing where the next dollar is going to come from. Going and getting a job and being so motivated at my job to just get work done and be somebody of value doesn't sit well with most people that work jobs because they just want to do enough to skate by. That's not me. But I guess the origin story of why we're building this ZenDen is real simple. It's to show people that there is hope, you know, even when all seems lost. You just got to find a way to keep yourself happy. And they say money doesn't buy you happiness. It really doesn't. When I was making $20,000 a week, I can tell you I was not very happy. You know, my relationship was falling apart. All of my family relationships were falling apart because I prioritized getting to the money over keeping a healthy relationship with the family. And, you know, one day I just really had to make the decision. Do I care about making this much money? Yeah, obviously, you know, it solved a lot of problems in life that, you know, without money you can't solve. But I was very miserable. Very miserable. I was drinking every day, all night, every day, smoking weed, trying to fake happiness, trying to fake my peace. And I'll tell you, through all of the hardships the past few years, I had really found joy just in providing a good world for this little duck. And being able to share that experience, endless smiles with other people around the world. It's really what did it for me. Why am I building this by hand? You know, a lot of people say I'm crazy and they say I should go get like a tractor or a skidster and, you know, I'd have this pond done by now if I just went and got some equipment. But a little hard work's good for you. I want to be able to build this by hand and, you know, 10 years down the line, look back on this and say, you know, that was a fun project. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of sweat. A lot of people thought I was crazy, but, you know, look at how beautiful this pond is. I know you can't see it now, but just imagine when we have ducks in here. Imagine on a hot summer day when I can just come take a dip in this pond, hang out with the ducks. I mean, that's what I'm in it for. You know, I'm willing to put up with the bullshit of today to enjoy the fruits of my labor tomorrow. Smacking rocks with the pickaxe. This is a lot more fulfilling than playing Minecraft. Now I could make more money booting up a Minecraft stream and just, you know, playing Minecraft for 10 hours a day. I can make a whole lot of money doing that, but this is a lot more rewarding playing Minecraft with a, you know, real pickaxe out in nature. I'd rather put that on the internet than me playing Minecraft. That's a big rock. We're gonna need another pickaxe for this job. Don't fret. I got 2 pickaxes. I got that one, which is good for what I've been doing. I'm making the pond a little bit wider, just to accommodate the bricks that I'm going to put into it around the edges. This pickaxe right here, sharp point, this is made for hitting rocks. That's a big ass rock right there we need to get rid of. Oh yeah, I just broke this rock right in half. Look at it. This is a cool looking rock. The quality of stream ain't that good. I'm running off hotspot and I'm in the woods, so I don't have much service. But look at the crystals on this rock. I don't know what kind of rock this is. It looks cool. It's orange and it's got white little crystals in it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is a piece that just broke off. It's all crystal. We'll add this to the garden on the inside. But I just breaking some rocks apart, I found a crystal in the ground. We'll save that one. Pretty cool stuff. But I'm not filming anymore. This is just live. You guys get to see how a duck does stuff live. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Look at how big this rock is. This is all crystals. So we're gonna save this and add it to the pond in the future. You know, not only am I gonna fill the edges of this with bricks and the bottom with sand, so it's gonna get a little bit bigger. I'm also gonna do like a rock wall around it. Give it, you know, 6 inches, a foot of a border, and I want to do it all with natural rocks that I find. It'll look pretty unique, pretty cool. Get back in here with the shovel after I break up the edges. Oh, all the rain we've had recently, it's kind of helped pack everything down so I can get a better look at it. Makes it easier for me to go around the edges, make flat edges with this big pickaxe here. It's a lot easier. You got to use something like this because of all the rocks. I can't just shovel. The shovel wouldn't make it very far, so you have to come down on it with this. So you never know what you're going to hit. Just more and more cool looking rocks. Got this part to finish up, and then we're gonna go deeper with it. A little wider, a little deeper. then we'll start the fun part. Oh yeah, that's good. I should be drinking water. I brought a water bottle out here. I brought a rum and coke because out here working my ass off. A little bit of rum and coke will keep me motivated. I don't really drink like that anymore either. Let me grab my seat. Oh, bring the seat out here so I can catch my breath. See, the fun part about doing this by hand, I'm not on the clock. If I want to take an hour break, I can. If I don't want to, I don't have to. It's gonna get built, and we've got the rest of February to really dig, because in March I'd like to start terraforming it more and building the aesthetics of it in March. April, I'd like to move a couple ducks in the house, and then by May, they'll have some ducks to hatch out. So while we are taking a break, I know there's people watching here on YouTube, Twitch, X. Oh, my fat ass just broke the chair. Did you hear that? Good thing I got some cheapo plastic chairs to use. We'll upgrade the sanctuary as time goes on. You know, you got to start somewhere. As long as I got something to sit in, I'm happy. But anyways, if you guys are wanting to support, you know, just leave a comment, leave a like. We've got Mello. Mello says, "What's up, Duck? What's up, Mello?" Mello on X. What is he? Mello. That's a pretty cool. PFP. You got the mushroom head. Soul City. Bring into my next point. I know the people on X. They're very crypto centric. I learned about crypto last year, and I know it's a very scary word if you're watching this not on X, because there's a bad rap with crypto. There's a lot of scam artists out there and desperate people looking to make a quick buck, and crypto's the easiest way to do it. I definitely have lost my fair share of money trusting in random people on X and their crypto whatevers. But there are some good communities out there. There are some good people out there that see the technology for what it is, and it's essentially a ticket. We've got our own collection. We've got 2 collections out. We've got our decentralized ducks, short decent ducks, because we're pretty decent people, I'd like to think. You buy that, and that's basically your ticket into our community, and that helps fund feeding the ducks. We've got our new project out. It's the eggs. The eggs is our second collection. I'm just going to be up front. It's basically a sanctuary Kickstarter. It's a way for people to buy into what we're doing and what we're building here. I'm not just building the duck pond for my own selfish needs. I'm building the duck pond because I see a future in which people are going to want to come relax. People are going to want to come hang out in the sanctuary, because we've got a big sanctuary. It's not just this little. We've got quite a bit of sanctuary to build. This is just the first step, which is our duck pond, but that's essentially our Kickstarter. Our white paper is listed right there. When you look at the eggs on the website, you can go to justduckeggs.com, and right there, before you even buy or mint, it shows you what our money is going to be spent towards. It's going to be spent on a camera. It's going to be spent on a food processor, so we can recycle everything we see in here to refeed back to the animals, so we don't have to go buy food. And then we're going to pay our team, and then the rest of the funds are just going to go back towards reallocating towards our collections on chain. Recycling that money back to V1, recycling that money back to other collections, other founders that I firmly believe in. So shout outs to the Soul Gods, Soul City team. I've learned a lot, and there's some good people over there. If you're not looking to get into crypto, but you do want to help out, or if you're looking for something you can purchase, we do have our hats for sale. I don't know what hat I'm wearing, if it's Just Duck It or Quack. I'm wearing the Quack hat today. I was wearing the Just Duck It hat earlier. Just Duck It hats aren't for sale. Those are unique to me and a few people that are core team member founders. But the Quack Head hats, these are like $20. Those funds go back into helping build our sanctuary, and we do have exclusive jars of duck poop. It's duck fertilizer. It's just watered down tea, essentially. It's water with some duck poop in it. Mix it up. Why would you want to buy duck poop in a jar? Well, if you plant stuff and you go to the store and you buy fertilizer, that's essentially what you're buying. Ours just has a meaning behind it. We're a small creator, and all the revenues we make off of selling duck poop. That's a cool sound. You can play music with it, but the fertilizer is good for plants. I've got a plant room in my office, and we've been exclusively watering our plants for the last year with duck poop, and they're big and green all year round, and they keep flowering. So it is good fertilizer. It's some of the best fertilizer out there. Duck poop's high in nitrogen, and when you dilute it in water, it makes a great plant fertilizer. But also, you could buy it as a gag gift. We sold some for Christmas. We call them stocking stinkers. We had 12 of them listed that day, and we sold all 12 in that one day. It ships anywhere for free in the United States. So I'll take the $19.50 that we sell it for. I'll go get a label printed. I'll ship it out myself. You don't have to pay for shipping, and then whatever's left over is what we use to help fund our project. Whether that goes into feed or whether we're saving up for a camera, because I would like to have a 24/7 duck stream going. So that way I don't have to bring the laptop out here. I can keep the laptop in the house, always plugged in, and I can just swap the camera to the outside camera. I'm going to be putting solar panels up to run the camera 24/7, so it's always going. It's going to be weatherproof. It's going to be a pretty nice camera, and that's going to allow for live duck TV all the time, so we don't have to keep hauling all of our stuff out here. I can just walk out here and the camera's already rolling. But that's essentially what we're building. We're building this duck sanctuary to provide a peaceful place for people to come, whether that be just watching me dig a hole ASMR, building the ZenDen by hand. We're going to be upgrading this house right here. If you guys don't know, we've got an actual house for our ducks. It's a tiny cabin. This was handmade. I didn't make it, so I'm not going to take credits for actually building it. The previous owner of this property actually built this, and he passed away. So it sucks that I'm out here building and doing all this stuff, and he doesn't get to enjoy it as well. But he's in our hearts. But we're going to be turning this little ZenDen into our duck's home. It's going to be pretty cool. I was thinking of building a little pen for ducks, but when I came across this little ZenDen out here, that's the name for it, ZenDen. I do things very zen, very calm, cool, relaxed. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out in the world, and I'm just here to remind you to just take a deep breath and just relax. You're not in a rush. Nobody's in a rush for anything. Sometimes we got to meet deadlines, and it can become very stressful. And this is our little slice of heaven out here, to where there is no time out here. You can do things at your own time, and there's no rush. And I'd love to share that with other people. So, but anyways, we talked about our origin story a little bit. I made sure to record that. I think I got a little bit of the vision in the video, so we'll chop that video up, and we'll try and make like 3 videos out of it. But yeah, I could sit here and talk for days, drink my rum and Coke. I got a really good deal today. I went to the corner store, and then I stopped by McDonald's. I spent a total of $4 today, and I got a large Diet Coke with no ice because I don't trust the ice at McDonald's, but I do like their Diet Cokes. Got a Diet Coke for $1, and then I bought 3 cans of On for $1 a piece. So I spent $4, and I got like a week's worth of value, and for $4, money. Things are getting expensive these days. I'm like an extreme couponer. I try to stretch my money as far as I can, and spending $4 getting 3 cans of On and a Diet Coke from McDonald's that I brought home, put my own ice cubes in, and then filled it up with like rum for $4. That's not a bad deal. I know some places you just go buy a bottle of water and it's like $20 for a bottle of water, which I've got my own thing of water too, because you got to stay hydrated. These are pretty cool cups. I do recommend these. It's all metal. It's got a rubber thing on the bottom. The only reason I am telling you about these cups is because I am sponsored by these cups. Gronkowski is the founder of the ice shaker bottle. This was on Shark Tank. Mark Cuban invested in it, and I ended up picking up an affiliate link for them. They're on my TikTok store, but they are really cool. I got that one sent out for free, and I've been using it for over a year. It's completely stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about microplastics. It's easy to clean, and it's an ice shaker bottle. So like if you're a gym bro and you got your shaker bottle and it's plastic, your cold drink gets very warm and starts sweating. With these metal ones, they don't sweat. You can leave. My first video when I got this, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fill up some ice water. I'm gonna leave it at the duck sanctuary, the other duck sanctuary. Not this one, the other one, but this was last year. I made a video and I was like, let's put it to the test, because I don't like to hide shit. And they were claiming that it can keep your drink cold for up to 48 hours. So I put ice in there, I put some water in there, screwed the top on, capped it, set it on top of our water well, and just left it there for 2 days. And sure enough, when I came back, there was still ice in the bottle. And I was like, damn, this is a cup right here. So I don't drink protein or anything. I just eat eggs and steak and stuff as my protein. But this is a damn good shaker bottle, and it's got pimento cheese on it. Shout outs to any of the golfers in the community. I'm not a big golfer, but one of my friends, he runs a restaurant out of our local golf course. So I go out there, every once in a while and go hit the driving range. I don't go do the holes though. I'm such a bad golfer. I need to go get my golf clubs. I left my golf clubs in the barn. I figured, duck it. I'm not a big golfer. I'll just leave them out here, and I'll practice hitting balls at the farm. I need to go get my golf clubs though, because I do plan on putting a tee up like right here, so that way if anybody wants to come and just fucking drive some balls, I mean we've got the area for it. We could do that. How do you get an invite? Buy a decent duck V1. There's traits on all of our ducks, depending on what trait you get, what trait you pick up. It opens you up to exclusive perks. You can find everything on our website. It's at the bottom. Join the flock, justduckit.org. You can adopt a duck if you want to be a part of this mission. If you'd like to help fund this mission, incubate some eggs. The eggs are going to change in your wallet over time. So, every month when you check back on them, they're going to change up until they hatch. And they're going to hatch out on May 31st. Why did I pick May 31st? Well, it's a very important date in my life. I'm not going to get into the other half of why I chose May 31st, because it's very personal, and it involves another person, so I don't want to get into it. But that day, May 31st, is when I found Jasmine. So that was essentially her birthday for us. So May 31st is very important to me. Yeah, I found Jasmine, which is the duck that started this all. She's on the website. That's her birthday. So her birthday's coming up. She would have been 3 years old. Speaking of, Jasmine, a lesson that I had learned, and why I'm so adamant on building this duck sanctuary here now. I left Jasmine out of my control, and unfortunately, she was taken by a predator, and it really broke my heart that that little duck that put so many smiles on my face and on millions of other people's faces around the world. Because Jasmine's been viral. She's gotten over 1 million views a couple of times, actually. She's got a couple million views. She's put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces. So she'll always be a part of the sanctuary, and she'll always be a part of our story. And with this ZenDen that we're building here, she's gonna live on forever now. But we're gonna get back to digging. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to talk about, really. Kind of talk to myself crazy. Recording on my phone for IG. If you guys are looking to get into making better content, I could put you on to a few little tips. If you guys are familiar with Drewski, I didn't get to meet Drewski, but I got to meet Drewski's producer, and we hung out a couple of times. He had moved to Nashville 2 years ago, and we ran into each other at a Morgan Wallen concert, of all places. I didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was, but he saw me filming because I was in the pit, like not on stage, but right up on the stage at a Morgan Wallen concert, and I snuck my gimbal in. Security wasn't that tight. I was able to put a gimbal in my pocket. I folded it up and brought it in, and nobody questioned it. He was like, "How'd you get your gimbal in here?" I said, "Buddy, I just walked in with it." And that caught his attention, and we just started chatting. And he put me onto a little bit of game, so I will share it because there's not a whole lot of people watching. But even in the professional producing world, for A-list celebrities, a lot of the content that they shoot is off of a phone. He told me that he did big shout out to Young Ma. Always fucked with Young Ma, but he did all of her videos. He still does all of her videos, and out of all the people in the industry, she trusts his expertise. So all of her videos are shot off of the iPhone. You didn't know, but he told me that a couple of ways to use your iPhone to make it super high quality, to where you don't need to invest a lot of money into a fancy camera to make good content. So everything I've done has been off of a phone, and I've got some decent content out there, some high quality stuff. Oh. And if it wasn't for meeting him and him telling me, hey, don't worry about it, do it off your phone, you'll be fine, I probably would have went and bought a fancy camera by now to do content with, which to me is a complete waste of money at this point. The only reason I want a fancy camera is to have an always on stream outside. So that way, at any point in time, you can visit my website or any of my social media pages and tap into our live stream. It's the only reason I want a camera. But anyways, there's a big rock right there. I didn't bring my pry bar. I should have grabbed it. I got a big metal. It's like a pry bar, basically. It's a railroad tie, a railroad stake, and I use it to pry rocks out of the ground so I don't break my shovel. I even took my Jordans off for today's video. Been wearing Jordans out here digging a hole for the last 5 days. I decided to put on these Adidas because it's way muddier today, and I don't care about these shoes. I don't care about any of my shoes, honestly. They're just brand names. They're all the same thing. They're all made by the same people. It's just whose face do you want to sport? And at this point, I don't really care to rep anybody's brands except for my own at this point. So these shoes mean nothing to me anymore. gonna have to dig, flatten this out. We'll come in here and mold this hill. What I'd like to do with this big mound of dirt that I'm digging up and placing is eventually put a small little waterfall in. But one day at a time. One day at a time. I just can't wait for the ducks to be here. They're gonna love what we're doing. We've got 2.5 months to finish this before the ducks get here. I'm excited. By the time summer hits, it's going to be so dang hot that we're going to want to sit in this little pond to escape the heat. I can't tell if this is a rock or if this is dirt. Dirt. It's hard to tell these days what's what. But I started this dig and just calling it a hole. But you know, as we keep digging, I think it's graduated itself from being just a hole to the ZenDen. I'm a firm believer in remaining Zen. Lord knows it's how fast the world's going. It's hard to remain Zen. This is a pretty cool rock. We're gonna save this one. This one's got like a, I don't know, something cool coming out of it. But we can play some music in the background so you don't have to just hear me slapping rocks. Play some chill music. Good thing I plugged my phone in. It was at 15%. Recording and running hotspot with a live stream kills your phone battery quick. I brought 2 portable chargers with me today, so we can do quite a bit of work live. about to take my pants off. It's getting hot. Should I do it? Should I do it for y'all, chat? Take my pants off. I know you want to see it. Don't get sick. I'm wearing shorts. Oh yeah, that is a big difference. Holy. All right, chat. Took my pants off. I ain't getting paid for this either. These shorts were available at one point, but they're no longer on the store anymore. They just got a duck on them. Whew. That feels so much lighter. Holy. You can't hear it, but there's a woodpecker. There's a woodpecker out there pecking at a tree. Love to hear it. Now we can start going a little deeper. Go. It's a nice rock. those start to get running. Should have brought tissue. I wasn't expecting my nose to get runny. It is still only like 50 degrees out, so I am pretty underdressed for the weather, but I'm out here working, so get hot. That's why I wore shorts under my pants. This exact reason, in case I got hot, I could take my pants off. Always ready to hoop. I think that might be a build like a half court out here. That'd be pretty cool. You want to come hoop in nature, put a little half court. I got that idea from J. Cole. I'm not gonna build that by hand, obviously. Concrete. I'm gonna have to hire somebody for that shit. That would be cool. I'd be a big baller. Honestly, it would be pretty cool. I know somebody in the community would love it. I might need a pickaxe to make it a little deeper. It's a shovel, I'm just doing it. It'd be easier just to start swinging that bitch. Put everything up and then digging it out. So we get rid of all the rocks in it. I should boot up a TikTok stream or live on TikTok, and I can at least get donations for a year of the sanctuary. I would go live I would go live twice a week when I first started the sanctuary. I was working and shit, and then I started going live every day, and that's what was paying for the birds. Live every day. People were adopting our birds virtually, sending tips, and that would pay for their food. And I'd make a video of me going and buying their food with it. I might kick that back up here in the future. Probably when this ZenDen's done, we have ducks here, because right now, if you're just tuning in, you're like, this guy doesn't even have any ducks around him. Which is true, I don't. All my ducks are at the first sanctuary. This is going to be more of an exclusive kind of sanctuary. After the shovel, I think that's the time for me to sit down and take a break for a second. I'm starting to sweat. Whew. Oh, yeah. Let's take a break. Tired. We're gonna go down just maybe another like foot, 6 inches to a foot. It's not gonna be a very big pond. It's gonna be big enough for me to sit in and for the ducks to always have somewhere to swim. They can go underground. I'm gonna fill that trench back up once we start the build process of the pond, of the Zen pond. I'm gonna put a PVC pipe in it for like a drainage. So that way, if I want to drain the pond out, I can just pull the plug. It'll drain out through the PVC. And then when it rains again, it'll fill it back up. So I'm tired. It's a pretty nice hole. Oh, let's check our X. I see 2 people watching. I don't know if you're on YouTube or Twitch or where you're at. It doesn't show me how many people are on X. But if you're on watching me dig this hole for the Zen pond, then shout out to you. Whew. Good morning. Good morning. 16 viewers on X. Holy cow. Huge shout out to you if you're watching on X. I can't fit it. I'm getting 16 people to watch me in Zen pond by hand. This is just the first step, basically. Dig the pond out, build the pond, bring the ducks. The rest of the stuff, the rest of the vision that I have for this ZenDen, we don't need to do it right now. I've got the bare minimums. I built a bridge. I chopped a couple trees down. I think they're what are they? Spruce trees? No, they're not spruce. There's a certain kind of wood. Somebody told me what it was, but I already forgotten kind of what it is. But I got 6 trees that we chopped down, and we used the logs to set the foundation for our little bridge. And then down here, this is going to look really cool in the summertime. So I guess I can give you guys a walkthrough real quick. Oh, let's cut the music so you can hear me. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear the music and me at the same time. How do I find the music? Where's it going? Oh, there it is. All right, so we'll show you guys real quick what we've got done so far. So we've got the Zen pond. Try to get out the way. The Zen pond. It's about 8 to 9 feet across, and almost 3 feet deep now. So we've been doing this all with the shovel and a pickaxe by hand. We've got some mounds built up. The mounds are going to play a detrimental role in the pond. It's going to be pretty cool when the nature takes over. We've got the ZenDen. This is our house for the ducks. So when they move in, it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to come reinforce the window. I'm going to put a chicken wire over the window so we can leave it open and nothing will get in there, because right now it's just a normal screened window. So I want to put chicken wire outside of it so something doesn't get in there. And we can leave the window open so there's always ventilation for the birds. But we've got probably going to do a raised garden bed out here. That was an old like futon or old like little mattress. What do you call it? I don't know what it's called. But anyways, oh, my feathers are falling out. My feathers in my hat, they're falling out. Oh well, I'll get more feathers. I'm going to build a better fireplace. We just got the little burn ring right here. I'm going to upgrade some wooden benches instead of these plastic cheap chairs. And then I built this bridge right here so you can walk across. I'm going to come through with, what do you call it? I'm going to take pallets apart and then lay the pieces of wood from the pallets over the top and screw them in. So it's a lot safer to walk across. And then right here, we've got a trail that we carved out. You can kind of see, yeah, this way. See, there's a trail that's carved out. So in the summertime, it's going to be a natural canopy and it's going to be a walkway. So we can walk in the shade and not get all hot. All the trees that we had chopped down are in pieces of wood. This is all going to add, it's all burn wood for the fire out here. We're going to have a big fire come spring. But it's a nice little walkway. And it's going to be shaded, with the trees and natural canopy. And the ducks, they'll walk up and down it and whatnot and fly around and have some fun. So it's a nice little canopy. We've got a bunch of wood to burn from some trees that we had chopped down to make this path possible. But my sinuses are running. Being out here in the 50-degree weather, my body's like, you're hot because you're working, but it's still only 50 out. It's not that warm, which 50 is not too bad compared to, the 20 and 10-degree weather we had last month in January. It was freaking cold. Oh yeah, but here's our ZenDen, Zen pond. It's gonna be nice in the summertime when it's on like a 120-degree day. Come out here and just take a bath with the ducks. It'll be pretty neat. What's our portable charger at? We're at 52% on the charger. My phone went from 15% to 70%. This thing's pretty dope. You can buy these off my TikTok shop as well. I got the affiliate. It's made by Anchor. Anchor's a pretty legit brand for any of you Target wives or Target ladies out there. I know you love Target. I spent a lot of years consulting for Target. Anchor is one of their top brands in Target. And it's a pretty dope little portable charger. It plugs into the wall and you bring it with you and you charge stuff. We're up to 19 live viewers. Shout out to you guys on X. We appreciate you for coming and stopping by and hanging out with us. We're just out here doing the thing, building by hand. It's pretty neat, pretty nice. I'm gonna have to get an umbrella for the laptop though. Being in direct sunlight in the black laptop, this thing's getting cooked. So if you guys want to support, go to justduckit.org, buy you some premium duck fertilizer. It's hand sourced. I've got 6 jars ready to go right now. It's $19.50 for a jar. If you want to use it on your plants, you can use it on your plants. If you want to buy it for your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend and send it to their door, we'll ship it anonymously. Or if there's an influencer on X, they call them KOLs, that rugged you or annoy you, or you're tired of seeing, buy them a jar of duck poop. They'll love it. I bet you they don't have it either. Whew. Oh, would you look at this? We got some company. I love company. Driving fast as duck. Coming to feed the deer, I bet. We got a lot of deer that live out here, and one of our friends, he comes and he likes to feed the deer. Part of the sanctuary is having, we got turkeys, we got deer naturally that just live out here. They come up. I had some deer in the pond earlier the other day. I came out here and it was about like 8 in the morning. It was still misty out. And we had a whole herd of deer. One of them was a pretty big buck. He had about 8 points on him. I tell you what, nothing hits the spot more than a Diet Coke with some rum. What's that rum called? Malibu. I got some Malibu and Diet Coke. And nothing hits the spot more than Malibu and Diet Coke, especially when you're out here working and putting in a sweat. Just goes to show, I encourage you, man or woman, if you got a dream, get out there and build it. Nothing's stopping you. Nothing's stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve. It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much clout you have. You just got to make the decision to get up and do it. When I stepped away from my business, I took a huge pay cut. It was like 50, 60 grand months. That wasn't all profit. I mean, I had a payroll, so cut that in half, so like 25 grand a month. It's not bad for being 25. not going to college and having literally no role models in life. Didn't do too bad for myself. But I stepped away from that, and I learned that you can build anything. It doesn't matter what your title is. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You just got to make the decision to go do it. That's kind of the driving factor behind our brand. Shout out to Nike, but just duck it. You just got to do it. Bring it, duck. And if you guys are making meme coins around my IP, that's totally cool. I don't care. You're helping somebody get out of their situation. And if I'm the driving force or the driving factor behind your meme coin run up for the day, then so be it. Lord knows I was desperate 3 years ago. I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do. And with my mental health at the time, losing a family, losing everything that I had worked so hard for, you just got to do it. Although I am doing this by hand. Mello, if you're still watching, I'd love some help. I know you're a professional landscaper and you've got the team and the tools to get this done. I'd love some help if you want to help. I'll pay you in duck eggs. Nah, who am I kidding? That wouldn't be fair. But since we're not live on Insta or Facebook, I do see our channel growing quite a bit this year, and with the big channel, I love to share the wealth. I'd love to do an advertisement for your guys' small business and get some more eyeballs on you guys. Because I don't need it. I really don't care at this point. At this point, I'll be happy with some ducks. I'll be happy with the ZenDen. I'll be happy. If you guys are driving revenue and you got your small business and you want some help, by all means, hit a duck up. I'll make you guys a video and I'll post it. Why not? Anything to help spread the wealth. Anything. You hear that? I know the girls on TikTok, they do this. They say ASMR, and they got their beautiful fingernails that, are, what are they called? They're French square or something, I don't know. But they do the ASMR on their Diet Coke cans. Not only is it a good jar of fertilizer, it's also a great instrument with a unique sound. These jars, you just tap the bottom of them and they make some cool sounds. I'm sure somebody can mix and master a beat, put it over my jar of duck shit. You can make tomorrow's next best hit with my jar of duck shit. And just you can make a whole song about it, mix it and master it all up, and I'm pretty sure I could record a little bit, throw it into Suno, it would make tomorrow's next biggest thing. But I've never been one to chase the trend. I don't care to chase trends. Trends aren't sustainable. Although they can make you filthy rich. What was that guy? I watched, shout out to the School of Hard Knocks, that guy's channel. He goes around and interviews millionaires and billionaires and asks them, like, what's some information you can share to the next generation of entrepreneurs. And he interviewed the CEO that invented silly bands. And I remember when I was a kid in middle school, everybody had silly bands. Everybody. And that dude, he got so filthy rich off making silly bands. And it was a trend. I mean, kids these days, they don't know what silly bands are, nor would they even care. We have TikTok. Why would they care about silly bands? But you can really change your life chasing a trend too. But just be the inventor of it. I know trends, they go viral. That's why my page doesn't go viral too often. I'm not a trend chaser. I know I get a lot of ideas from people in the community, friends IRL that see that I'm still going 3 years later. I'm still out here making videos, doing duck stuff. They they try to give me ideas, and they're like, you should make a video like this, or you should do that. And it's like, yeah, but 10 years from now, people are gonna like, they're gonna forget about that. You just make you content, and that's evergreen, like a tree. It'll just keep growing. That's the content that I go for, is evergreen. I still get views on my videos from 2 years ago that I had made, because they're just duck videos. It could be 2026, it could be 2036, and people still like duck videos. It's evergreen. So I'm chasing longevity. I'm chasing something that'll be here that I can give my kids or my grandkids in the future. I want to hand something down to them that they can be proud of. I may not be able to eat, but by God, my kids will eat. Shout out to you if you know who you are. But whew, feels nice sitting here drinking my Malibu and Coke. I'm feeling a little tipsy at this point. I don't recommend drinking underage. If you're underage, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You got too much energy in you. You got too much time, and if you invest your time, if you're 16 or 15 watching this, you blink and you'll be my age. So, who cares about trying to be cool or trying to be, the America's Next Top whatever? Who cares? Just do you, and just invest your time. That 10 years from now it'll pay off. If you're doing something that you absolutely hate, good, get excited. Understand it's a means to an end. If you got to go to your job and you hate your job, cool. Hate your job. Collect that paycheck and reinvest what you can back into doing something that'll retire you from that job. I don't recommend anybody do what I did. I just said duck it. I said fuck it. And here we are. This ain't for everybody. I'll tell you what, this ain't not for everybody. So many times I thought about putting in the towel and quitting. So many times I thought, man, I should go back into the industry, and I could rebuild the sales business knowing what I know. Like, I could go back and do it all again, and something about me just said, you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll make it happen. We'll get ourselves to Saturday. That's the biggest thing. Get yourself to Saturday. Shout out to that song. I know this stream isn't copyrighted. I didn't play any copyrighted music. I almost did. I got a playlist that I've been bumping for the last 10 years. Shout out to my first mentor, Joey. Joey, I appreciate you. I know you're not watching this. You got a million other better things to do with your life than watch me do this. But, shout out to Joey. That was one of the best mentors I ever had. And then I learned your best mentor is your last mistake. Don't let that go over your head. Just relaxing. I should probably get back to digging, but we've got company, so they might come visit me. I don't know. They're over there unloading some corn, feeding the birds, feeding the deer. They might come visit me. I don't know, though. Maybe not. They know that I just like to be left alone. Not everybody's lonely when they're alone. I'll hand in my head. And they quack. Shout out to you, 20 viewers. We've been live streaming now for an hour and a half. Just digging a hole and talking. Just doing the dang thing. Put our gloves back on. We done sipped enough Malibu. We're feeling kind of tipsy. We got a hole to dig. We've got a ZenDen to keep building. So I can't see the screen. It's so freaking bright. I can't even see what I'm looking at. I hope you guys can see it. I know the quality is real choppy. I'm out in the middle of the forest, and I'm relying on AT&T. Dun dun dun, AT&T. So thank you, AT&T. This stream is brought to you by AT&T. Maybe one of these days, Elon we'll see what I'm doing, and he'll send me a satellite, so I have better service. I'm gonna have to get Starlink out here for the camera though, because when I get my camera installed, solar panels on the camera and on the Starlink satellite right next to it, and it'll be 24/7. So any time of the day you want to pop in and say, what's that duck doing? You'll be able to. I just realized something. The music hasn't been playing. Ugh. I cut the music so I could talk. I know you guys don't want to hear me shoveling. You want to hear some music. We'll go for another 20 minutes and then I'll probably wrap it up for the day. I might do a little off-camera digging. Who knows? keep doing this, I might have to, to subscribe. I'm already tired. Fuck this. Oh yeah. I'll go to the gym. Yes, ZenDen. Never get bored. Come help. This will keep me missing all week. Oh hell yeah! I can't wait till it's finished. I'm gonna finish and ducks are gonna love it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta go work out. Yeah. See ya. need to make another piece of content quick. And cut the music. We're gonna make one more piece of content. We're probably gonna wrap this up. I'm getting tired. It's been quite a bit of work today. Even though I've been sitting on my ass talking to the camera for 30 minutes. Whew. This is day 5 of building the ZenDen by hand. You know, I could hire somebody to come dig this for me and we'd be done by now, but there's something about getting out and building your dreams with your own two hands that it's real satisfying. And I was told I was crazy when I started this idea. A lot of people on the internet, a lot of people IRL have been watching me do this. They think I'm crazy. And I tell you, I've been through a lot crazier. So if you want to help support building the ZenDen, all you got to do is leave a like, maybe comment, and share this video out to somebody that you think needs to get out and just do more. Because we're out here building the best duck sanctuary in the world with our own 2 hands. And I'm digging this pond with my own 2 hands because my ducks deserve better. If you'd like to dig with me, just leave a like, maybe comment. Would you do this? And be sure to stay tuned for more daily builds where we dig the ZenDen by hand. See, and when you're making content, the best part about making content is you can say whatever you want. And there is this thing called editing, where you can chop out whatever you don't want, and you can make it seamless. You can make it flow. I'm not recording anymore. I'm just live, but it's a little 2 cents for somebody that was never a content creator, or somebody that was never an influencer or never a video editor. I've just learned along the way. I've met a lot of really talented individuals that do this stuff for a living. And you know, life's kind of like a buffet. You know, when you go to the buffet, you don't eat everything. You just kind of take bits and pieces that you enjoy, bits and pieces that you want to eat, and you apply it to your everyday life. That's the thing I love about editing. Is that I can just kind of say things, and in the production of it, I can, you know, deem what I want in the video or what I don't want in the video, what makes it flow better. So sometimes I hit the camera and I retake something 2 or 3 times, and then I sit in my office and I look at it. I decide what makes it to Instagram or not, what makes it to TikTok. So if you're watching this live stream, there's some free alpha, as they call it. But this alpha is not a meme coin. This alpha is real life shit that you can take with you regardless of where the market's at. Because I don't really care where the market's at. The market's never dictated whether or not I'm going to be successful or not. And success is different for everybody. Some people, they want the Maserati and the bottle service at the club. Some people just want a slice of heaven. And that's a promise I made to myself and to a very special woman out there that isn't going to appreciate what I'm doing for another 16 years. She might, but who knows? I leave that up to God. We might get a little bit of help. Hopefully. We're going to wrap this up though, so that help is going to be pretty much useless because we've been out here for almost 2 hours doing this. So I'm probably going to wrap this stream up. And for anybody that's been watching this entire stream, I implore you one more time, just get up and build your dreams. You're going to get called crazy along the way. You're going to be very misunderstood, but that's all right. Because everybody can't see what you see. And they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to until it's done. And it's a piece of reality. Most people aren't going to see what you see. So, anyways, we're going to cut this. I appreciate everybody that's been on here. Big ups to you. And we'll catch you guys out on the timeline.